Hi there, this is Paige, who is Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm sharing with you my new projects, same paper collaboration projects. This is a collab I'm doing with Deb, who is Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage here on YouTube. And we pull out a 12 by 12 paper pad that we want to use up, and however long it takes us, that's how long it takes us. And so when we're finished with one 12 by 12, we move on to another one. So I've been working on this paper pad called Flutter Bloom. It's from Craftsmith. It has lots of bright, happy designs and colors. It had 48 sheets. I think I have 18 full-size sheets, and then I have a ton of scraps and different sizes. Some are quite large and some are a little bit smaller. So I've got a ways to go using up this paper pad. I made quite a few projects this time. Well, not a whole lot, but several. And many of them are in various stages of completion. So in no particular order, let me show you what I made. So I've got this little card, if you want. I want to put a sentiment there. Just haven't done that yet. Open it up. There's a place to write a message on. This was one of the pattern papers, and I thought, you know, grid paper, you can always use that as a neutral to write on. So I put that over there on the writing side. On this side, I have an interesting little pocket. It's called a stitched slot pocket. It's from Maddie's Crafting Joy, and it looks like this. And the larger piece cuts out a pocket, and then there's score lines, so you fold them back, and then these cut out little slots in the cardstock to form pockets. And then here is a layering die that comes with it. So I used pattern paper in the background, and then I used another pattern paper to make the little pocket itself. And then I used a different pattern for the layering pieces and tried to coordinate the colors on there. And then let's see, I never seem to have something handy when I need it. So, gosh, what do I have? Well, so anyway, here's a little pocket. Here's a pocket. And here's a pocket. Now you can leave the bottoms of these open so that it'll slide all the way to the bottom, but I wanted my pockets to be individual. So I just went ahead and glued at the bottom of each individual pocket. So I have that one in that color. I have this one, it's a 6 by 6 card, so I just took one of the sheets of paper, cut it in half to 6 by 12 and folded it in half. This was one of the cut-aparts from the paper collection. Here's the same papers that I used on this one, just used them in a different order. But again, the three pockets to place things in. And then I have one in this color, and I think the reason I just have one like this is because I had used this pattern paper for another project, so that was a 6 by 12 scrap. But here's one of the cut-aparts from the paper collection, and I just matted it with another pattern. And then the inside, here's a piece of the paper I used for the background, and I just figured it was light enough to be able to write a message on, so I didn't add any white to that. And then on this pattern paper, there's a big butterfly in the corner. So it started out looking like this. And then I turned it into card that took the full 12 by 12 sheet in different parts, so that's why there's just one of this. So anyway, there's that one. Then I made some pocket pouches, and this is an idea I saw on Amber's channel. Is she Lyric Lover? I think so. I get confused with the names of the different YouTube channels, but she made some pocket pouches. I don't know if that's what she called them, but from 12 by 12 paper. And so I liked the idea, so I thought I would do that. And so I did it with a lot of the patterns that had a big print on it. And so this was already printed on, and then if I remember correctly, I guess I'm not going to remember correctly. I made it quite a while ago. Okay, gotcha. So you take a 12 by 12, you fold it in half at 6 inches. You fold the bottom up at 4. The bottom becomes your pocket. And then when you glue the edges of your 6 by 6, it becomes another full-size pocket on the inside. And then I just used parts of other papers to decorate with. So like this strip right here was the lower piece of another pattern paper. So that way, you know, when you have those designs that take up either the top or the bottom or the center, I was able to make use of those on here. I'm not explaining myself very well. My apologies. Here's another one where I use the bottom portion of a pattern paper so that I could use the large design, and just covered both sides. Now I think on hers, her intention was to tuck in some greeting cards on both sides and maybe also a couple inside. So I think they'd hold like 4 if they're not too bulky with envelopes. So one here, and then maybe 2 on the inside. I haven't gotten that far. Here's another one where 2 of the papers had a butterfly border, and I just cut it apart to fit on both sides. And then these 2. This was also along the bottom of a 12 by 12. So I made those. I thought those turned out kind of colorful and fun. So then the last thing I made to share with you at this time were these Trifold Pockets. I don't know if you want to call it a Trifold Pocket card or what do you want to call it. I didn't finish decorating these yet. I'm not really sure what I want to do. I got this idea from a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Wendy Cranford. And so if you go to her channel, Wendy Cranford, look on her list of videos and it'll be a Trifold Pocket or something like that. But anyway, I used several patterns of paper and some cardstock. You need some 12 by 12 cardstock. So on the 12 by 12 you score every 4 inches. And then you rotate and score 4 inches on just one edge, and that folds up to become your pockets. And then what I did is, like where the score line was, I cut the score line off and just a little bit more beyond that, so that it would fold over easily without the edges getting crushed in the fold lines. And then I took some of the pattern paper from the paper pad that I didn't really care for, wasn't really sure what to do with it, and just cut it to size and used the white side for the inside of the pockets. And then I just punched a notch. This is a We Are Memory Keepers notch punch. And then here's a tip for you, although I'm sure most of you probably already know it. When I was gluing my pockets up, I put in something that was a little bit bulky, so I used a little portion of a Post-it pad. And I just, well, now it's of course not going to show, but, or not going to work, but anyway. So I just placed it down like that. And then I glued the sides so that it makes a little bit of a curve. It's a little bit loose and not so flat and tight. So then the idea was it would be easier to slide things in and out of. So just a little tip, hopefully that'll work for you. And then I attached some ribbon. I think I used about 24 inches, and I just used some double stick tape behind this pattern paper, and kept it loose so that if you want to tie it in the middle, you want to tie it on the right, you want to tie it on the left, you have enough ribbon to do so. So all three of these are the same, just the pattern paper is a little bit different order. And then this one used some scraps, so it's a little bit different as far as pattern papers go. But there you go. That's what I have to share with you this month. Other than making cards, which I love to make, I'm kind of running out of ideas of what to do. So I may have to start repeating some of the projects that I made before, but I'm anxious to finish it. I mean, I like the colors and patterns in here, they're fun, but I'm just kind of getting tired of working with this paper pad, so I'm anxious to find some projects that will help me finish it off throughout the month, and so I can move on to something else. I will leave a link down below to Deb's channel so you can check out her progress this month. And now I'm off to create.